Here is what you shouldn't do. Make an action movie with very little action in it. However, it's not a deal breaker. Den of Thieves Pantera is a 2024 heist film that serves as the sequel to the 2018 film Den of Thieves, starring Jared Butler and O'Shea Jackson Jr. Look, I really enjoyed the first Den of Thieves movie. It seemed like one of those movies that would have been dead on arrival, but somehow it persevered and did a lot better than I thought it would do. I mean, a lot of you were pretty surprised about that, but I think what happened is that it came at a time when people wanted a high-stakes heist movie because it delivered. Naturally, a sequel was greenlit. And that's all thanks to 50 Cent's Curtis Jackson because, well, money. Money makes things happen. They weren't going to leave all that money on the table. People seem to like the IP, so they're like, you know what, let's do a part 2. We can get some money from that. We would even shoot it for a lot less. So here's the plot for Den of Thieves before I carry on with my nonsense. Jared Butler's Big Nick is back, and that's not a euphemism. Big Nick is back on the hunt in Europe and is closing in on Dunny, played by O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube's son, who really should be called Ice Water. But I digress. Big Nick is going after Little Ice for getting away with the heist in the previous movie. Little Ice is, however, embroiled in the treacherous world of diamond thieves and the infamous Panther Mafia. Big Nick steps in and suggests that he is no longer a cop and wants in on the plotting of a massive heist of the world's largest diamond exchange. It's a stock standard heist movie. However, there is a bit of a difference. This one tries to be a tad bit more realistic, which is all well and good until you wait about 40 fucking minutes before something actually happens. Now, it's not a deal breaker, but at some point I was thinking someone shoots something, maybe just throw a pie on someone's face. Or you know what? I will settle for a sex scene. Let's have a little bit more action. This is a fucking action movie for crying out loud. But it's still not a deal breaker. But you are an action movie, so maybe action a little bit. Don't wait 40 minutes to do it. Okay, rant aside, the approach was pretty cool, albeit it's not excessively exciting. I could almost count on one hand how many action shootouts there were, and it was, well, just one. And that is realistic, because in real life, you wouldn't want to pull so much attention to yourself, and there wouldn't be a lot of shootouts in the movie, which is all well and good, but leads me to my next con. Since we're being realistic, little fat Ice Cube was dropped into the ocean with Big Nick 3 kilometers away from shore, and somehow he swam all the way to shore and wasn't out of breath. And that took me out. I was just, what? He wasn't out of breath. Now, look, it sounds like I'm body shaming the guy. It's just that he was not out of breath. He walked out and he's overweight. And he's supposed to be some kind of mercenary type of character. And I understand he was in this movie purely because, well, he was in the first movie and also possibly a Nepo baby. But no, don't do that. You set up a movie and you tell me that it's going to be grounded, and then you f***ing lie to me and make a fat guy swim 3 kilometers without being out of breath. Just, what? I'm ranting about this way too long. I'm sorry. Just... let's move on. Oh, and there was this scene with a bunch of unfit people who were able to climb up a rope in an elevator shaft. I'm sure they used body doubles for it, but they're unfit. Even Big Slim Cube was able to... he climbed up the shaft, like manually. They didn't even use a thing. There was no gizmo. He just went up. I know, I feel bad. I feel like I'm just fat shaming someone. Look, I'm a little fat too, you know? Okay? I just wouldn't swim 3 kilometers to shore and not be out of breath or climb the elevator shaft. I'm going to go ahead and rate this movie a 6 out of 10 because it's pretty good, but it's not great. However, it doesn't have to be. It's just entertaining, regardless of all the Chub Cube stuff. So the question is, should you watch Den of Thieves Pantera? And my answer is yes, but it's not better than Den of Thieves 1. However, it's watchable and it flows well enough, and the actors gave a believable performance ish. It's okay. You can tell the budget was $40 million. And I know us normal people, $40 million seems like a lot, but for an action movie like this, it's not that much money. However, they did stretch it a long way and they didn't necessarily screw the movie up, but you can tell that it's not up to snuff. And also, I felt like it had ending fatigue because at some points the movie seemed like it had wound down to the end, and then there was another twist, and I was just thinking, oh, okay. And then it had another twist as well, and I was like, well, you could have ended it in that one, but it's still not a deal breaker, but end it. And that's my 2 cents. I hope to see you guys in the next video where I do this. Whatever that means.